This series is going to be called Check It, Don't Wreck It. And what we're going to do is we're going to check out cars, bikes, trucks, boats, whatever it is. And we're just going to do some walkarounds and tell you about it. This is a 2006 GSXR 600. This is the K6 model. So they made these in 06 and 07 in the 600 and 750 trim. The 1000 had like its own category. I mean, it's a liter bike, so sorry about the lighting in here. I know it's kind of dark, but it's also like 110 degrees outside because we are in beautiful Las Vegas and it is almost mid-July. So we're gonna do it in the shade. Pre-purchase history. I got this bike actually from a Harley Davidson dealership. I assume that they either bought it at auction or had it traded in. So I'm not 100% sure exactly how they acquired it. It does have a salvage theft title, guys. I know it's not a salvage because of a wreck, which made me much more comfortable. It was salvage because of a theft, and it does say that on the title. It will say salvage theft in that salvage vehicle line. Bike was stolen. The original owner claimed it on insurance, which is why it had to be salvaged. Let's talk about history from when I got the bike, what's been done to it, and where it's at now. So right away when I get a new bike, I always do plugs, air filter, oil filter, just get it nice and done for me. So of course that's been done, and that's been done several times since. One of the biggest things that I went through was actually having the charging system completely go out on me. So not only did the stator go bad, the rectifier went bad, which made my battery go bad, which then blew up the ECU. So there were so many things going wrong at one time on this bike. Had to move out here to Vegas. This bike is originally from Ohio, and so got under here and they tested the ECU. The ECU was fried. Ordered a new ECU online, eBay special. It was like 400 bucks or something like that, and it came flashed from the guy. So I was like, perfect, it's a K6 ECU flashed. I have a pipe on it, why not? It is what it is. It's the same price as all the other used ones. You know, I took it to a shop. It's called Main Street Moto here in Las Vegas. Great shop. These guys took really good care of the bike and hooked me up. I'm gonna show you the old stator here. Here it is. You can see there, some of these guys are nice and burnt up. And we'll show you the old rectifier. And yeah, this guy was obviously bad, but just not much to see there. Fresh oil that we put in, some Mobil 1 10W40 Racing 4T, and then just some of the products I used to, you know, degrease the chain. These were for when I was doing brake pads, and we'll talk about that, and that's to lube the chain. It also got new light bulbs all the way around because the ECU blew out all the light bulbs. Talk about some other modifications that have been done to the bike. We got some MZS levers here, just basic levers for both clutch and brake, adjustable of course, but most of these aftermarket ones are anyways. We have a new clutch cable though, so that clutch cable was done at Main Street Moto as well. Obviously the brake and sprocket is nice and clean and lubed up. Look at how nice that is. Here's our master link, and just look at how nice we got that master link. We got that to sit on there real nice, not crushing any O-rings or anything like that. And this is ready to last you for a while. Sprocket and chain setup is fairly new. It's down one tooth up front and up 2 teeth in the back. As you can see, we got some Pirelli Diablos. These are in really good shape still. Got a lot of life left on them, and they'll do you right, front and rear. We did brake pads all the way around. We got some freshies in the back, and our rotor's in really good shape as well. No grooves or pitting or anything. Run your nail across there and it feels nice and smooth. Up front we did the same thing. Of course, we got dual disc brakes up here like most of these street bikes do, and we got fresh pads on this side and 2 more fresh pads on this side. Again, rotor's in good shape. I know on camera it looks like you can kind of see like lining and stuff, but you rub that You rub your nail on there and it's smooth. Pretty simple stuff. Stator, rectifier, battery, ECU, chain, sprocket, new brake pads, good tires. Although we have one last one, which is our beautiful Jardine pipe. The pipe came on this bike, and I tell you what, it is just one of the best sounding pipes. We'll do a startup, of course. This thing will shoot flames, and it will scream down the highway. Sick bass boat paint job on the tank. I didn't do this, it came like this, but I really love it. It just glistens like that in the sun and really catches people's eye. Of course, the bike isn't perfect. Like, look, we got a little dent there, we got a little scratchy guy over here, we got some scratches on the frame, scratches on the crank cover, and we got some broken plastics here. Some scrapes there. We're missing our rear helmet or our rear seat lock. We got some more cracking here and some more cracking up there. And so let me explain why. So I told you the prehistory of the bike of how it was stolen. But the bike was actually stolen again from me here in Las Vegas, and luckily we just have an amazing police team here. These undercovers went and found my bike within 24 hours of reporting it stolen. They got it recovered to me. How? I have no idea. They're absolutely amazing. They got it back to me all in one piece. Guy had it less than 24 hours. The only thing that he did to was spray paint the bike. He painted my beautiful bike black and did a terrible job on it. So I decided, how am I going to get this off? I used Goo Gone. I used everything I could, and around this 600 you can still see some of that black, speckles around there. So what I ended up doing actually was taking 1000 grit sandpaper, wet sanding the bike down with 1000 grit sandpaper, everything but the tank. I didn't touch the tank because I still wanted that to have its gloss on there. And I just really tried to use more of an abrasive sponge to clean that up and then polish it back out. Actually turned out really good. And it got all the paint off of it and just, tried to polish it up after that. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But you know what? The fairings aren't perfect now anyways. Now they're just not glossy. They're kind of like a matte satin finish because of the sanding. But, if you really wanted to, you could just replace the two big side fairings, get them color matched or color painted. Or you can go onto Amazon or eBay and buy a $400 kit and have brand new fairings. You can do anything with these bikes. That's why I love them. There's so many parts out there. Obviously, he had to steal it somehow, so we're looking at the ignition here. This whole cylinder here, it goes all the way down, and you can see he cracked it right there, and that's how he broke the fork lock. So unfortunately, the fork lock on this bike does not work, but the ignition works fine. He must not have known that this motorcycle was made with 3 different keys. So the ignition, the tank, and the helmet lock are 3 different keys. So yeah, he tried to make a key with the helmet lock, I imagine, and it didn't work too well. So, bike runs awesome. It's just a ripper. It really is, and it's time to move on. Enough talk. Let's get this bike started up so you guys can hear it. Normal. We're gonna turn our key on. We're gonna turn our run switch on, and you'll hear the fuel pump. Hold in our clutch and start the bike. just a quick little startup for you guys. There are some issues with the gauge cluster. So I replaced the speed sensor, which is right here next to your stator cover, and it runs up and it goes up underneath your gas tank and it plugs in and blah, blah, blah. But the weird thing that happened when I replaced this stator, when I put the new stator in, for some reason my miles per hour and my odometer stopped tracking. It's a speed sensor, duh. Everything else electronic went out on the bike when the ECU did, you know, light bulbs and temp sensor, and I had to get all that stuff replaced. So all that, everything else worked. So the only thing that it's not tracking right now is your miles per hour, and the odometer isn't clicking over. 16,492, so about 16,500 miles on the bike. Now, I have ridden it around since I just replaced that stator, so it does have a couple more miles on it, but I don't want to put too many on it without that odometer tracking. And maybe it's a fuse, maybe it's because the ECU is changed, and ECU is the one that holds the memory for the mileage of the bike, and so maybe when I change the ECU out, that's what why the mileage doesn't want to work. So I'm not really sure, aside from, you know, the condition of the body, which really isn't that bad. I mean, going, you know, what do they say, the 10 and 10 rule, right? 10 feet away, 10 miles an hour, nobody is even going to notice the difference. Fix in the future is obviously the speedometer and the odometer. This is the bike. It's a great runner. It's a really fun bike. It's a great bike to look at. And for being a 2006, being 14 years old, I still think this bike stands the test of time with its shape, what it looks like, how it's designed as a sport bike. And I get compliments on the bike all the time. So if you guys are interested, let me know, and we'll go from there. But at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. It's about sitting around talking about bikes, talking about cars, talking about trucks, boats, whatever you got, and having a good time. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you soon.